Well, my friend called me and asked if I want to drive his SVJ Roadster from California to Las Vegas and back. Of course, I said yes. I want to find out in this video how this vehicle stacks up in 2023 for a long road trip. Would you rather have the prehistoric Raging Bull or the electrified one? Today, let's get inside this car, see how it fares in 2023. This car took Nürburgring records, and now I'm just cross-country driving it, or drive it from California all the way to Nevada, Las Vegas. The question is, how livable are these vehicles? I see owners take them on rallies all the time, and I'm curious to find out how they fare to long-distance driving such as this. We're entering the abyss, the desolate desert. Here's our first stop of the journey. I do want to stop out at Barstow, get some breakfast, get some food to finish off this drive, and I should probably refill the gas tank a bit more because it is just eating or just consuming all the gas so fast with the V12. I didn't realize this vehicle can shut off cylinders, but occasionally it has been going into, I think, 6-cylinder mode, only using half of the pistons. This car sounds insane! I have the back window down for the Spider, which gives you all the extra noises. Look at that. It's crazy how loud this V12 is. I hear more of the high-pitched, like, sounds. But as you can see, I'm wearing Chris's driving gloves. This car is worth a lot of money. I want to be very careful with it, treat it very right. And these white leather gloves won't leave any residue or skin, oil, fingerprints, nothing like that. I do love the purple and white accents everywhere because it really gives the car an extra flair. It sounds so good. Let's go ahead and raise the front and lift up and go refuel. Second gas up of the journey so far. We have about 2 hours and I think 20 minutes more to go. My friend's wedding is like in 3 hours flat, so I have zero time to waste completely. But one thing I have to say is that the purple, the viola purple or viola purple, let me know how to pronounce that in the comment section down below. The paint color on this car is absolutely perfect. Just like on our 750S, we got the pinstriping all around with the bottom. I don't think Chris's car had all the white accents. I think he added more on after the fact. It does look really nice with all the carbon fiber finish, and this does have the active arrow with the S-duct design right here and the flaps that will open and close and distribute the airflow. It's more of a fixed / active setup because the air flaps transition the airflow towards inside where the big fixed rear spoiler is. I think the SVJ, the more I drive it, the more I'm around it, I think this is the most beautiful Lamborghini that they make. And the white accents that Chris has all over this car, it completely finishes off the spec. It's so funny because back here when you zoom into the engine, it's a bit off placement, right? It's shifted off center to the left. One thing I will not be doing though is I will not be pulling off the roof. This is a Roadster, right? But it's just too hot. It's gonna be well over 100 degrees, I think. I can feel the heat driving right now. I do enjoy rolling down that back window. Let's see how it fares for the rest of this drive. Let me put in more Chevron with the Techron fuel. We're not sponsored yet. Let's get inside the Aventador SVJ again, and let's see how this thing fares for a road trip. Having a carbon fiber tub in a Lamborghini is the dream. I wish they all had them, but the Huracans, they don't have them stock. This one does, and it reminds me so much of the chassis feedback you get out of modern McLarens. Running out of time, our ETA is 12:10. I'm trying my absolute best to get there on time, guys. We got to see if we can do it. Starting up the fighter jet, the Raging Bull. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's one thing Chris says. We're driving his Lamborghini, we gotta put on white gloves. One thing I noticed is that with the Aventador having the single disc clutch, you gotta constantly go into neutral when you're parked because it's better for the clutch wear over time to protect the transmission, which I totally understand. I think having a single clutch too actually helps with weight as well. This thing sounds so good. Eco is your programmable mode, and right now it is currently set up with the loud setting exhaust, the good steering feel for the Corsa setting. Suspension is in standard mode right now, from what I remember, and it feels very smooth. I feel like I can drive this car very far across country. Let me go ahead and pop it back into a Strada mode, which is going to be your more daily drivable setting that tones down the vehicle to make it more relaxing. The engine won't be as loud. It'll occasionally shut off the cylinders. And let's go into automatic settings. Hit the M button down below. Overall, I just got to sit back now, relax for the next 2 hours and a half or so. Let's try to conserve the fuel because we are on the clock. This reminds me of the Hangover movie. What I love about the Aventador SVJ is more than anything else, more than the sound, more than the performance on the racetrack, are two things. I love the aero, and I love the sense of occasion, because I say aero and sense of occasion together because the package this car gives you visibly from the outside, it looks like a hypercar. I'm getting more people walking up to me saying, I love the car, you did so good speccing it out. I'm saying it's not my car, obviously, but sometimes I might smile and say, oh, thank you. Chris, if you're watching this, I'm going to say it's my car from here on out, for anyone who asks me. Anyways, moving on from that, this car just is beautiful, and you get inside, the sense of occasion it gives you. This car turns more heads than my McLaren does. And versus the Corvette, not even on the same stratosphere. Versus the Raptor R I have, I might as well be driving that Jeep to my left. No one will look at that versus this. People turn their heads and they stare, they walk all the way over across parking lots to look at the SVJ. This is why I think this car is holding its value so well. It's iconic, and to build an iconic car, you have to achieve on being bold. Being bold is the key. Because if you're not bold with your vehicles, and you're trying to appeal to everyone in the whole world with the drivability of having some not too aggressive, but comfortable, but looks pretty good, but you don't want too much downforce, there's so many compromises. This vehicle, yeah, it's not the lightest car in the world, is it? It's pretty heavy compared to some other supercars that are getting towards hypercar realm. For example, the Senna, I know it's much more than this, but that is a 3,000-pound vehicle, hundreds of pounds less, or even the 750S. But it does not give you a V12 that you'll never see ever again. It doesn't give you an all-wheel drive system, and it doesn't give you the Lamborghini Raging Bull engineering. It's not very good for daily driving in low speeds. At low speeds, you have all these people around you that you risk them getting close to you for, I don't want to say a collision, it's too condensed, too hectic. I love the cruising speeds with this vehicle. Getting off and on power with the single disc clutch. I did have to refresh my mind before getting in this car by going on the Lamborghini forums and other videos, because you have to rewire your brain on how to use this transmission versus a standard dual clutch. I say that because with a standard dual clutch, you can just be on power, hold full power, upshift, everything is pretty seamless. With this transmission, a few reasons why they didn't go with that was because for the chassis, for the car itself, this worked the best. Also, with engineering, the Aventador came out a little bit ago, back in 2013, 2012. The transmission's been beefed up and improved over time. It still doesn't have the newer transmission out of the Huracan, which was the dual clutch. That means that you can't drive it the same way. On each upshift, if you're not smooth on pulling off power, you'll get a jerky shift. However, if you learn how to drive the car, it builds into that sense of occasion, and that's what makes it fun. It's not easy to drive. It feels like a race car. It feels like a spaceship, and that's what I love about it. I love flaws. I love little details of a vehicle that make me have to learn how to drive it. That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it engaging and addicting as well. Let's go ahead and get there.
Realized since the windshield has I think it's tint and PPF, it's leaving a really funny effect on the lens that we have on this camera. It's a polarization effect. which is why I'm wearing non-polarized sunglasses. That's why I won't buy polarized sunglasses if you ask me. We're gonna be getting closer and closer to the downtown section of the city. Ooh, I'm so happy I don't have that top down because I would be baking in the sun. I don't know, what are your thoughts on all white interiors? That's why I gotta wear gloves right now. It's just too risky maybe to get dirty. But I do think Chris's SVJ is the greatest spec SVJ I've ever had the chance to see or even be inside, to be honest with you, because it comes together perfectly. I think this is our final turn up here. We're off the freeway. Now we gotta go down Las Vegas Boulevard. This is the greatest road test ever for a Lamborghini Aventador. Slow down, dip. To be honest with you, the ride quality it's very comfortable. It's not very bad in here at all.
800 feet, turn right onto Las Vegas Boulevard.
Laser has hit me. Last time I was in Las Vegas, Nevada with a supercar was with the 600 LT, and we were shooting flames, I think exactly right here. Shooting flames, just flame on, flame on, flame on. The Venetian Hotel. And I think that's where Hangover was, the final movie. Right there, Caesar's Palace. It is hot. No exotic cars just yet. Hopefully soon, though. Okay, here we are, back on the Las Vegas Boulevard. Wrapped up the wedding, it all worked out, the car made it in time. Now we get to finish off our long-term drive test and review of the SVJ. It's 110 degrees outside. Can the V12 survive? So driving out here, I realized that the roads are freshly paved. This is where the new F1 race is gonna be, right where we are, I believe, on these roads. I was very curious, how are they gonna pull that off with the condition of Las Vegas roads? But it looks like, back in first gear, it looks like it'll be able to work out. Look at the view all around us right now of all the skyscrapers, the hotels. It's very wild being out here in an SVJ. I can't imagine what an F1 race is gonna look like out here. It's probably gonna be the most crazy looking F1 race of all time. At night, the night lights, all the people in the city looking down from the hotel rooms, city streets, you name it. I heard the tickets are very expensive too. I don't know how it's gonna pan out, but I can't wait to find out what it's gonna be like. Crowds are everywhere. Here we go. I gotta get out for a second, give you guys a cool, full wrap up with the SVJ. Here we go, climbing over the massive door sills. It is currently, I believe, well over 110 degrees outside. I've been seeing numbers of 115 degrees. It is extremely hot right now. I did not expect a race car to be able to be this livable, but over here in the middle of the desert, my hands or my arms, I'm on fire right now. I'm dressed fully for the outdoors, right? It is beyond hot outside. We got the American flag blowing in the desolate, empty desert. Yeah, we've got the world's biggest gas station right here with 100 pumps, I believe, or yeah, 96 pumps. It says that we have another casino in the middle of the desert ranges, right? But to be out here and drive a 770 PS Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Super Veloce Jota, I'm stunned. I'm really stunned. I have noticed a few interesting quirks with this vehicle for long driving, long hauls. First off, in this 100+ degree weather, it does not take in AC very well. The outside hot air is just picking up all the coldness out of that cabin and is blowing it right out. It is really hard to stay cool in this car. I love this car. I would love to own one, to be honest with you. I think it's an iconic vehicle. It's gonna go down in the history books. It feels like such the occasion. I think my favorite portion of the Aventador SVJ is definitely the back, because when I walk around to the rear of the vehicle, just look at that sight. Look at all these exit vents and blades the whole time when you're driving. Yeah, you can lower that back window and get really cool exhaust sounds, but all you can see is a hump right there in the middle for the ALA, the active aero system, pulling air in towards the rear spoiler, but also you see this mid shark fin in the middle, right there, dead square in the middle.
I love it. I love it. It makes you feel like you're driving a race car at all times. Alrighty, if I were to summarize this vehicle, my biggest complaint is the transmission, the single disc clutch. It takes getting used to, I will be honest with you. I prefer dual clutches definitely still. You get a delay of about a second. What this car hasn't bad thing of, no other car gives you this style right here. The Aventador, everyone knows what Aventador is. It's the V12. Oh, lastly, I've filled up like 3 or 4 times, all at Chevron. So it's added up. This thing is terrible gas mileage. However, I don't find myself second guessing using all the gas, unlike when I'm driving the Raptor R sometimes. When I'm driving that truck, I go, should I use the RPM? I don't want to go through too much gas. With this, I feel like let that V12 breathe and consume and drink and rip. For cross-country driving, you can do it. It's either you're on gas or you're off gas. You can do a full throttle upshift for racing and it works well, but it's all depending on what you want to do for usability. All right, here we go. Let's get back inside, try to survive the desert heat. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like button to help me out and subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. I'll see all of you guys in the next episode. I gotta conserve energy. That's my wrap up here before I start driving and don't stop. See ya!